Okay, guys. Last night, this event happened last night, just about an hour before I had to go to work. So, yeah. Actually, you know what? My job actually is like at 11 o'clock at night, but I have to get ready like 2 hours early so I can like do my thing. So, an initial react to this inauguration, was not even possible. I do have a job. I work for a fast food joint overnight, so that's a thing. Anyways, today at what, 8 o'clock in the freaking morning, I now have the unfortunate privilege to be, oh my god, to be watching probably one of the most cringiest, things I have ever seen in my entire life. Oh my god. Why am I reacting to this? Just tell me, why am I reacting to this? I'm smart enough, okay? You know what? Here's the thing, okay? I should be watching a parade of episodes of freaking Cocomelon right now than rather watching this guy. Seriously. I would rather much watch 200 episodes each of Cocomelon and freaking Teletubbies than watching this goober here on my screen. Okay? But for your enjoyment of seeing me cringe and squirm in pain because of this old senile man who can't even keep his bowels together, and has to have a towel underneath him every time he sits on a freaking chair, I'm gonna have to react to this. Okay, let's just keep it real here. I'm just gonna have to react to this. And you all guys know where I stand in my position, okay? You all think, oh, I'm a Kamala Harris lover. I love Kamala Harris. Let's face it, all dorks, okay? I'm with you all on the whole fact that I'm not a Kamala simp. Would it have been the better of the two evils? Of course it would have. Okay? I didn't want this man in office. I knew what he was gonna end up doing. He went on social media. He knew everybody of the Gen Z was totally stupid, ridiculously, for lack of a better term, mentally handicapped. Let's just put it that way. So, as one of the people who knew what the heck is going on, let me be the hag to actually chop off that little, what is it called? What's left of that pea-sized brain of yours, and have a dose of reality. Yes? Yes. Okay. I'm gonna get a lot of hate comments on this video, aren't I? Well, here's the thing. I'm already getting a lot of hate comments anyway, so whatever. Huh? I'm probably gonna get I probably have a lot of dislikes on my other videos. I haven't bothered actually watching the dislikes on my other videos, but I guarantee you it's very insightful. Let's watch the burning of the entire United States by watching Mr. What do we call him? Mr. Depends. Mr. Orange Man Depends. How about that? I like that name. Yes?
And proclaim the dawn of the golden age of America. From that moment on, it has been nothing but swift and unrelenting action to usher in the greatest and most successful era in the history of our country. We have accomplished more in 43 days than most administrations accomplished in 4 years or 8.
Yes, Mr. Trump, you've accomplished a lot. You've accomplished the greatest amount of lawsuits against you in all of history. Do you have any idea how many freaking court cases this man is going through? Jesus Christ, it's a lot. Every single freaking executive order, at least to my knowledge, more than 50% of the executive orders have gone to state courts. Some of them have, you know, kind of like sped past and said, "Oh, okay, yeah, this is legal. That's legal. Blah 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 blah." Some of them, okay, some of them, but the rest of them, yeah, nah. Don't worry, guys. I'm actually keeping up with the zaniness of the lawsuits against the executive orders. Because in case you guys don't know, there's a little thing called checks and balances. Let Trump do it. Let Trump do it. Man, have you lost your mind? Go to Auschwitz if you have a problem with the United States people. Jesus.
8 years, and we are just getting started. I return to this chamber tonight to report that America's momentum is back, our spirit is back, our pride is back, our confidence is back, and the American dream is surging bigger and better than ever before.
Oof. Not on my side. I saw an 18-pack of eggs from Walmart go from like $2 something to about the 3 something, over $3.50. I remember. Yeah, my egg prices are not going down, Mr. Trump. What is going on? Oh yeah, by the way, there was this reporter that I saw not too long ago on one of the YouTube shorts that says her egg prices were like $10, now they're like $15.44. I'm like, what store are you waffling into? The only place that actually ends up having eggs that expensive is freaking Whole Foods Market. With their like vegan and farm fresh eggs. I mean, I can understand it's like a lot of hard work to do that, and that's why they're so expensive. But dear God, $10 for eggs? I remember going into a Whole Foods Market like in the, what is it called? In the 2010s, like 2010 to 2015. And eggs like that were like maybe about $6, but they've been slowly going up over time.
The American dream is unstoppable, and our country is on the verge of a comeback, the likes of which the world has never witnessed and perhaps will never witness again. Never been anything like it.
True! It's never been anything like it. It's a clown show.
Presidential
Shall I give you some clown
November
bacon?
5th was a mandate like has not been seen in many decades. We won all 7 swing states, giving us an electoral college victory of 312 votes.
You won that because of freaking Georgia. Georgia had a bomb threat in that state, which closed down the poll section.
And won counties in our country. And won counties in our country, 2,700 to 525, on a map that reads almost completely red for Republican. Now, for the first time in modern history, more Americans believe that our country is headed in the right direction than the wrong direction. In fact, it's an astonishing record, 27-point swing, the most ever. Likewise, small business optimism saw its single largest one-month gain ever recorded, a 41.2 Jump.
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House and to cease any further disruptions. That's your warning. Members are engaging in willful and continuing breach of decorum, and the chair is prepared to direct the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order to the joint session.
Okay, I want you guys to be paying attention to the front here. Okay? On the Republican side, okay, I want you guys to be paying attention to the Republican side, okay? There is a lot of people here, right? There is a lot of Republicans. True or not true? Yeah? But I want you to pay close attention to the left side of the screen. You see down here in the upper, central part of the screen? Yeah, that's U.S. generals. Military generals on the left. And I want you to see everybody on the freaking right? Correct? Do you see any generals on the right? I don't see any military generals on the right. You see any, military suits on the right? Nope, they're all on the left. The military is not going to obey the Donald Trump. Literally isn't. Also, this guy kind of needs to sit down.
Mr. Green, take your seat. Take your seat, sir. Take your seat. Finding that members continue to engage in willful and concerted disruption of proper decorum, the chair now directs the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order. Remove this gentleman from the chamber. Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House. Mr. President, you continue.
Thank you. Over the past 6 weeks, I have signed nearly 100 executive orders and taken more than 400.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second.
To restore common sense, safety, optimism, and wealth all across our wonderful land. The people elected me to do the job, and I'm doing it.
I didn't even notice this. I didn't even notice this. There are the Democratic judges right here. These are the Supreme Court justices right here. Holy shit, dude. Yo, that's some serious power that's pissed off at Donald Trump. The Supreme Court justices and the military generals? Yo, that's crazy. And what do you see on this side? Nobody but a bunch of freaking suits and useless people. Yikes, bro. Yikes.
In fact, it has been stated by many that the first month of our presidency, it's our presidency, is the most successful in the history of our nation. By many.
No, it isn't. It's failing. You dimwit.
And what makes it even more impressive is that, do you know who number 2 is? George Washington. How about that? How about that? I don't know about that list, but we'll take it. Within hours of taking the oath of office, I declared a national emergency on our southern border, and I deployed the U.S. military and Border Patrol to repel the invasion of our country. And what a job they've done. As a result, illegal border crossings last month were by far the lowest ever recorded, ever. They heard my words and they chose not to come. Much easier that way. In comparison, under Joe Biden, the worst president in American history, there were hundreds of thousands of illegal crossings a month, and virtually all of them, including murderers, drug dealers, gang members, and people from mental institutions and insane asylums, were released into our country. Who would want to do that? This is my
mental institutions and insane asylums. I remember back in 2016, he signed a bill that said that he can release these crazy people.
Absolutely nothing I can say to make them happy, or to make them stand, or smile, or applaud. Nothing I can do. I could find.
Remember when? Remember the viral short or TikTok video that happened a couple of weeks ago that everybody was reacting to with the LGBT activists in that hearing? Yeah, that's some of the people that he released in public from the insane asylums. It's nobody talked about it. Nobody talked about it because apparently his Donald Trump's party was trying to get rid of that information. They tried to. It's going to be very difficult for me to find that information again because I exactly don't know how well they've suppressed that part, but damn.
Find a cure to the most devastating disease, a disease that would wipe out entire nations, or announce the answers to the greatest economy in history, or the stoppage of crime to the lowest levels ever recorded. And these people sitting right here will not clap, will not stand, and certainly will not cheer for these.
Oh yeah, I also forgot that Donald Trump signed something that allowed mentally unstable individuals to have guns. Bro, I was like, what? Yeah, Donald Trump literally signed, I don't know if it was a bill or an ordinance, but he allowed mentally unstable individuals to have guns.
For just this one night, why not join us in celebrating so many incredible wins for America? For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America.
You know the infamous transgender person who offed a bunch of like innocent children in the church school? Yeah, that was one of the insane people.
Every day my administration is fighting to deliver the change America needs to bring a future that America deserves, and we're doing it. This is a time for big dreams and bold action. Upon taking office, I imposed an immediate freeze on all federal hiring, a freeze on all new federal regulations, and a freeze on all foreign aid.
Oh, all of them know that that's a big mistake.
I terminated the ridiculous Green New Scam. I withdrew from the unfair Paris Climate Accord, which was costing us trillions of dollars that other countries were not paying. I withdrew from the corrupt World Health Organization.
Which, by the way, is the sole reason why COVID lasted as long as it did.
I withdrew from the anti-American UN Human Rights Council. We ended all of Biden's environmental restrictions that were making our country far less safe and totally unaffordable. And importantly, we ended the last administration's insane electric vehicle mandate, saving our auto workers and companies from economic destruction.
I have somebody who his name is Scotty Kilmer. He's a famous vehicle mechanic, and
To unshackle,
I bet you he has a lot to say about what he just said about the vehicles of the electronic variety.
10 old
Because there's
regulations
something
eliminated.
called
Just
what, the
like I
Tesla
did
graveyard?
on my very successful first time.
I forgot what state it is, but there's like every single car that Elon Musk has actually ended up putting on the road, every single electric one, has
And in
ended
that
up
first term,
over
we
in
set
that
records on
part of the
ending
state.
Unnecessary rules and regulations like no other president had done before. We ordered all federal workers to return to the office. They will either show up for work in person or be removed from their job.
Also, remote jobs have been very popular lately.
And we have ended weaponized government where, as an example,
Even
the
before
sitting
Donald
president
Trump, remote
is
jobs have been a
allowed
thing because there's no need to
viciously
have people in an
prosecute his
office.
political opponent like me. How did that work out? Not too good. Not too good. And I have stopped all government censorship and brought back free speech in America. It's back.
I like free speech, but have you seen Twitter? Oh my god.
And 2 days ago, I signed an order making English the official language of the United States of America.
That was as dumb as bringing back the freaking paper
I
straws.
renamed the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America.
Yeah, a lot of countries are not recognizing that. Hell no.
And likewise, I renamed for a great president, William McKinley, Mount McKinley again. Beautiful Alaska. I love Alaska. We've ended the tyranny of so-called diversity, equity, and inclusion policies all across the entire federal government and indeed the private sector and our military. And our country will be woke no longer. We believe that whether you are a doctor, an accountant, a lawyer, or an air traffic controller, you should be hired and promoted based on skill and competence, not race or gender. Very important.
I do believe this too. But here's the thing, there was a transgender woman,
You should be hired.
but she had all the freaking qualifications. There was one before her,
In a brave and very powerful
and I thought she was a terrible person, but this, I think her last name was McBride, I think? She had all the qualifications to handle her job.
Theory from our public schools.
But there's a psychopathic woman in there that
official policy of the United
that couldn't handle the fact that there was a trans woman
genders,
in
male and female. I also signed an executive order to ban men from playing in women's sports.
Okay, see, I have a problem with this. Okay, the thing that I have a problem with this is that he couldn't sign an ordinance about trans people that could fix the current healthcare system, right? Because the thing is, you okay, my position on that is trans women and trans men, especially trans women, they can compete in sports. But there needs to be a certain limit to where trans women are officially transitioned into womanhood, right? Now, the problem with that is a lot of the crazy ass doctors went full cuckoo, right? And here's the thing. Most of the crazy doctors were in California. Most of them. And their laws, and you guys know that most of the stuff, whatever happens in California, most of the other states follow over the course of a few years, right? So what happened was that they had a bunch of like laws for LGBT people, but unfortunately there was like too much like love and kumbaya in California, too much of it. They were just like going left and right over there, and there was not enough like regulations and stuff like that to keep crazy people from going, prescribing estrogen and stuff like that, and there were and without like proper medical observations, doctors were pushing for like patients who are under estrogen to be competing in sports within 1 year, which is totally ludicrous. The body cannot transform that quickly, okay? Realistically, if you want to compete in like sports and stuff like that, I would say 5 years at minimum for your physicality to change significantly enough to where a trans woman can compete in sports on equal terms. Remember Leah Thomas? Leah Thomas was one of the most controversial trans women in America, because the doctors actually told her while she was in college that she could compete in sports, right? And they said, well, your estrogen levels are high enough and your testosterone levels are low enough, so you pass the necessary requirements to compete in in women's sports. But the thing is that the human body is not capable of like such fast progression into womanhood, right? So the thing is if he wanted to transform himself, he should have waited for at least minimum 5 years. To me personally, I think 5 years is a good limit. I don't know what you guys think, but personally, I don't think 5 years is a good limit to compete in sports. Anything else lower than that, I mean, I guess like if it's not, like sports and stuff like that, if it doesn't pertain to like any like physical, like weightlifting. I think there was like a transgender female that was like in weightlifting. Yeah, no, not happening. But like he was on the she was on the estrogen pills for like what, 2 years? That's still too short of a time. That's still too short. Nah, banning transgender healthcare, I think, is terrible. They're just wiping it off clean is a terrible idea, in my opinion. And I know I dog on and I know I have a thing against trans politics and trans people to some extent, but I think 5 years is good. You can socially transition, I get it, but while you're in social transition, just know that your body is not gonna magically change within 5 years. Okay, as quickly. So some people would advance quickly, depending on like your estrogen levels to begin with. Okay, and your testosterone levels to begin with. Some men have low testosterone and slightly elevated estrogen, which in that case it would be fine if they had a little bit less time. But in the case of Leah Ripley, 5 years minimum, bro. 5 years. Even that weightlifter. My God, that's a tacky
3
gold
years
suit.
ago, Peyton McNabb was an all-star high school athlete, one of the best, preparing for a future in college sports. But when her girls' volleyball match was invaded by a male, he smashed the ball so hard in Peyton's face, causing traumatic brain injury, partially paralyzing her right side and ending her athletic career. It was a shot like she's never seen before. She's never seen anything like it. Peyton is here tonight in the gallery, and Peyton, from now on, schools will kick the men off the girls' team, or they will lose all federal funding. And if you really want to see numbers, just take a look at what happened in the women's boxing, weightlifting, track and field, swimming, or cycling, where a male recently finished a long-distance race 5 hours and 14 minutes ahead of a woman for a new record by 5 hours. Broke the record by 5 hours. It's demeaning for women, and it's very bad for our country. We're not going to put up with it any longer. What I have just described is only a small fraction of the common sense revolution that is now, because of us, sweeping the entire world. Common sense has become a common theme, and we will never go back. Never. Never going to let that happen.
Common sense. What kind of common sense do you have, bro?
Among my very highest priorities is to rescue our economy and get dramatic and immediate relief to working families. As you know, we inherited from the last administration an economic catastrophe and an inflation nightmare.
That you started.
Their policies drove up energy prices, pushed up grocery costs, and drove the necessities of life out of reach for millions and millions of Americans. They've never had anything like it. We suffered the worst inflation in 48 years, but perhaps even in the history of our country. They're not sure. As president, I'm fighting every day to reverse this damage and make America affordable again. Joe Biden especially let the price of eggs get out of control. The egg price is out of control, and we're working hard to get it back down. Secretary, do a good job on that. You inherited a total mess from the previous administration. Do a good job. A major focus of our fight to defeat inflation is rapidly reducing the cost of energy. The previous administration cut the number of new oil and gas leases by 95%, slowed pipeline construction to a halt, and closed more than 100 power plants. We are opening up many of those power plants right now.
Wait, weren't they closed down because of the EPA regulations? Yeah, they were supposed to stay closed because they posed an environmental threat because of EPA regulations. Yo, this is no. Environmental Protection Act. That's EPA.
And frankly, we have never seen anything like it. That's why on my first day in office, I declared a national energy emergency. As you've heard me say many times, we have more liquid gold under our feet than any nation on earth. and by far, and now I fully authorize the most talented team ever assembled to go and get it. It's called Drill, Baby, Drill.
I think, what is it? Alaska has a lot of oil underneath its thing, but the Gulf of Mexico has, from what I understand, a few years ago. I don't know if it was a decade ago or more, but I know there's some reports that saying that the Gulf of Mexico is drying up in oil.
My administration is also working on a gigantic natural gas pipeline in Alaska, among the largest in the world.
From what I understand, that I think Gulf of Mexico has
partner with investments
like
of
50 years
trillions
left
of
over in
dollars
oil.
each. There's never been anything like that one. It will be truly spectacular. It's all set to go. The permitting is gotten. And later this week, I will also take historic action to dramatically expand production of critical minerals and rare earths here in the USA.
We have copper and we have coal. That's all we have in the U.S. But we have a lot of coal mines.
To further combat inflation, we will not only be reducing the cost of energy, but will be ending the flagrant waste of taxpayer dollars. And to that end, I have created the brand new Department of Government Efficiency, GOGE. Perhaps you've heard of it. Perhaps. Which is headed by Elon Musk, who is in the gallery tonight.
Which everything he's doing is completely illegal. He's fighting against a bunch of courts.
Thank you, Elon. He's working very hard. He didn't need this. He didn't need this. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Everybody here, even this side, appreciates it, I believe. They just don't want to admit that. Just listen to some of the appalling waste we have already identified. $22 billion from HHS to provide free housing and cars for illegal aliens. $45 million for diversity, equity, and inclusion scholarships in Burma. $40 million to improve the social and economic inclusion of sedentary.
I have to look at the numbers on these.
$8 million to promote LGBTQI+ in the African nation of Lesotho, which nobody has ever heard of. $60 million for indigenous peoples and Afro-Colombian empowerment in Central America. $60 million. $8 million for making mice transgender. This is real. $32 million for a left-wing propaganda operation in Moldova. $10 million for male circumcision in Mozambique. $20 million for the Arab Sesame Street in the Middle East. It's a program. $20 million for a program. $1.9 billion to recently created Decarbonization of Homes Committee, headed up, and we know she's involved. Just at the last moment, the money was passed over by a woman named Stacey Abrams. Have you ever heard of her? A $3.5 million consulting contract for lavish fish monitoring. $1.5 million for voter confidence in Liberia. $14 million for social cohesion in Mali. $59 million for illegal alien hotel rooms in New York City. He's a real estate developer. He's done very well. $250,000 to increase vegan local climate action innovation in Zambia. $42 million for social and behavior change in Uganda. $14 million for improving public procurement in Serbia. $47 million for improving learning outcomes in Asia. Asia's doing very well with learning. I don't know what we're doing. We should use it ourselves. And $101 million for DEI contracts at the Department of Education. The most ever paid, nothing even like it. Under the Trump administration, all of these scams, and they're far worse, but I didn't think it was appropriate to talk about them. They're so bad. Many more have been found out and exposed and swiftly terminated by a group of very intelligent, mostly young people, headed up by Elon, and we appreciate it. We found hundreds of billions of dollars of fraud. And we've taken back the money and reduced our debt to fight inflation and other things. Taken back a lot of that money. We got it just in time. This is just the beginning. The Government Accountability Office, a federal government office, has estimated annual fraud of over $500 billion in our nation, and we are working very hard to stop it. We're going to. We're also identifying shocking levels of incompetence and probable fraud in the Social Security program for our seniors, and that our seniors and people that we love rely on. Believe it or not, government databases list 4.7 million Social Security members from people aged 100 to 109 years old. It lists 3.6 million people from ages 110 to 119. I don't know any of them. I know some people that are rather elderly, but not quite that elderly. 3.47 million people from ages 120 to 129. 3.9 million people from ages 130 to 139. 3.5 million people from ages 140 to 149. And money is being paid to many of them. And we're searching right now. In fact, Pam, good luck. Good luck. You're going to find it. But a lot of money is paid out to people because it just keeps getting paid and nobody does. And it really hurts Social Security and hurts our country. 1.3 million people from ages 150 to 159 and over 130,000 people, according to the Social Security databases, are age over 160 years old. We have a healthier country than I thought, Bobby.
I would have fact-checked this. What's the time on this? Like 45? 45 minutes into it? I'm gonna fact-check this.
Including, to finish, 1,039 people between the ages of 220 and 229. One person between the age of 240 and 249, and one person is listed at 360 years of age. More than 100 years. More than 100 years older than our country. But we're going to find out where that money's going. And it's not going to be pretty. By slashing all of the fraud, waste, and theft we can find, we will defeat inflation, bring down mortgage rates, lower car payments and grocery prices, protect our seniors, and put more money in the pockets of American families. And today, interest rates took a beautiful drop, big, beautiful drop. It's about time. And in the near future, I want to do what has not been done in 24 years, balance the federal budget. We're going to balance it.
That's not possible. Because we're 30... Here's the thing that I found out.
With that goal in mind, we have developed in great detail what we're
the United States is $36 trillion in debt.
Sale very, very soon.
What they found barely even scratched the surface.
Will allow the most successful job-creating people from all
like
over
what,
the world
55 billion?
US citizenship. It's like the green card, but better and more sophisticated. And these people will have to pay tax in our country. They won't have to pay tax from where they came. The money that they've made, you wouldn't want to do that, but they have to pay tax, create jobs. They'll also be taking people out of colleges and paying for them so that we can keep them in our country instead of having them being forced out. Number one, at the top school, as an example, being forced out and not being allowed to stay and create tremendous numbers of jobs and great success for a company out there. So while we take out the criminals, killers, traffickers, and child predators who are allowed to enter our country under the open border policy of these people, the Democrats, the Biden administration, the open border insane policies that you've allowed to destroy our country, we will now bring in brilliant, hardworking, job-creating people. They're going to pay a lot of money, and we're going to reduce our debt with that money. Americans have given us a mandate for bold and profound change.
That gold card that they're talking about with citizenship, that is... Some of you don't... Okay, here's the thing. Some of you don't know, but there is a... not even Asmongold knows about this. He doesn't even know about this. As smart as Asmongold is, he doesn't even know about this. If Asmongold doesn't know about this, chances are any of you watching this video or watching me don't even know about this either. But there is a growing interest in Chinese business acclamation. It's been growing under the noses of the United States people for quite a while now, but nobody's really been able to talk about it. So what this card does is that it benefits China and the interests of the Chinese business market that want to work with us. Even though this so-called gold card is a thing, we've already have a system in place already. Literally, I forgot. My mom told me about what it was. What it was called. I need to ask her again. But yeah, we already have a system like this already. But with like the richest people and stuff like that, it's because of China.
The nation founded by pioneers and risk takers now drowns under millions and millions of pages of regulations and debt. Approvals that should take 10 days to get instead take 10 years, 15 years, and even 20 years before you're rejected. Meanwhile, we have hundreds of thousands of federal workers who have not been showing up to work. My administration will reclaim power from this unaccountable bureaucracy, and we will restore true democracy to America again. And any federal bureaucrat who resists this change will be removed from office immediately. Because we are draining the swamp. It's very simple. And the days of rule by unelected bureaucrats are over.
I'm sorry, but who's Elon Musk? Oh, they know. Wait, they looked over. They know it's Elon Musk. They know he lied. Oh, shit.
And the next phase of our plan to deliver the greatest economy in history is for this Congress to pass tax cuts for everybody. They're in there. They're waiting for you to vote. And I'm sure that the people on my right, I don't mean the Republican right, but my right here, I'm sure you're going to vote for those tax cuts, because otherwise I don't believe the people will ever vote you into office. So I'm doing you a big favor by telling you that. But I know this group is going to be voting for the tax. Thank you. It's a very, very big part of our plan. We had tremendous success in our first term with it. A very big part of our plan. We're seeking permanent income tax cuts all across the board. And to get urgently needed relief to Americans hit especially hard by inflation, I'm calling for no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security benefits for our great seniors. And I also want to make interest payments on car loans tax deductible, but only if the car is made in America.
I'm gonna be very honest with you. The cars made in America suck ass. They do. Chrysler, Jeep, Eagle. Here's the thing. The only thing that has even the slightest quality as far as United States cars are concerned, as far as like US cars is concerned, the only cars that have optimal quality is Ford. That is literally the only car company that actually has quality cars. Every other one is for Dodge. For Dodge, any vehicle that has a Hemi engine, okay, I'm gonna realize any engine that has any vehicle that with that Dodge produces that has a Hemi engine is of good quality. Okay, that's being said. Anything that has EcoBoost, the 3.5 liter trucks that are out there with the EcoBoost system is garbage. Every electrical system out there, every electric vehicle like hybrids and stuff like that, it's garbage. Okay, you want to know why it's garbage? Because the only way you could fix hybrid cars and electric only cars is by sending them to the dealership, right? It's the only way to fix these cars. Mechanics will lose their jobs. If literally, vehicles, people in America, when they produce vehicles, are going to lose their freaking jobs. Yeah, I mean, a lot of them are getting replaced by robots because of efficiency. But when it comes to, like, manufacturing quality cars, there is nothing we could do. The only cars that can actually be produced is Ford vehicles. And even then, that gets a little bit tricky. Because nowadays, you're going to have to be forced to not go to, like, mechanics. Like what is it called? Joe Schmo over there, who's been known to be the greatest mechanic ever. He can't fix the cars that are, have all like these gizmos and other stuff within those cars. You have to take them to the dealership, and we all know that dealerships are scams. So he's gonna make it. He's gonna make it to the point where he's gonna force dealerships. He's gonna force the consumer to take their vehicles to dealerships. That's what this whole like vehicle thing. Even the deductible too. Even the deductible. But the thing is even though that the deductible is there, they're still going to charge even higher prices now to offset the deductible that you're going to get for US cars. Even though it's now, because the reason why I'm saying this is because Scotty Kilmer has been saying this for decades, and people in the automotive industry hate his ass. And a lot of consumers who listen to Scotty Kilmer, they're saying, "Oh shit, you're right the whole entire time. These American car companies cannot be trusted." The only car companies that can be trusted, literally, are Honda, to an extent, Nissan, and Toyota. For American cars, it's only Ford. A little shaky on Dodge, depending on the engine that you get. But everything else is completely and utterly garbage. So what he's proposing here is garbage.
And by the way, we're going to have growth in the auto industry like nobody's ever seen. Plants are opening up all over the place. Deals are being made. Never seen. That's a combination of the election win and tariffs. It's a beautiful word, isn't it? That, along with our other policies, will allow our auto industry to absolutely boom. It's going to boom. Spoke to the majors today, all three, the top people, and they're so excited. In fact, already numerous car companies have announced that they will be building massive automobile plants in America, with Honda just announcing a new plant in Indiana, one of the largest anywhere in the world. And this has taken place since our great victory on November 5th, a date which will hopefully go down as one of the most important in the history of our country. In addition, as part of our tax cuts, we want to cut taxes on domestic production and all manufacturing. And just as we did before, we will provide 100% expensing. It will be retroactive to January 20th, 2025. And it was one of the main reasons why our tax cuts were so successful in our first term, giving us the most successful economy in the history of our country. First term. We had a great first term. If you don't make your product in America, however, under the Trump administration, you will pay a tariff, and in some cases, a rather large one. Other countries have used tariffs against us for decades, and now it's our turn to start using them against those other countries. On average, the European Union, China, Brazil, India, Mexico, and Canada, have you heard of them? And countless other nations charge us tremendously higher tariffs than we charge them. It's very unfair. India charges us auto tariffs higher than 100%. China's average tariff on our products is twice what we charge them. And South Korea's average tariff is 4 times higher. Think of that, 4 times higher. And we give so much help militarily and in so many other ways to South Korea, but that's what happens. This is happening.
I want to see Jay's 2 cents comment about the whole computer chip thing.
It never was, and so on April 2nd, I wanted to make it April 1st, but I didn't want to be accused of April Fool's Day. That's not.
Because here's the thing. Here's the thing about the graphics cards. The prices went up on graphics cards, thanks to the tariffs.
Reciprocal tariffs kick in, and whatever they tariff us, other countries, we will tariff them. That's reciprocal, back and forth. Whatever they tax us, we will tax them.
That's bad. That's a revenge right there. Unnecessary revenge. What the hell, bro?
To keep us out of their market, then we will do non-monetary barriers to keep them out of our market. There's a lot of that, too. They don't even allow us in their market. We will take in trillions and trillions of dollars and create jobs like we have never seen before. I did it with China and I did it with others, and the Biden administration couldn't do anything about it because there was so much money they couldn't do anything about it. We have been ripped off for decades by nearly every country on earth, and we will not let that happen any longer. Much has been said over the last 3 months about Mexico and Canada, but we have very large deficits with both of them. But even more importantly, they've allowed fentanyl to come into our country at levels never seen before, killing hundreds of thousands of our citizens and many very young, beautiful people, destroying families. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. They are, in effect, receiving subsidies of hundreds of billions of dollars. We pay subsidies to Canada and to Mexico of hundreds of billions of dollars, and the United States will not be doing that any longer. We're not going to do it any longer. Thanks to our America First policies we're putting into place, we have had $1.7 trillion of new investment in America in just the past few weeks. The combination of the election and our economic policies that people of SoftBank, one of the most brilliant anywhere in the world, announced a $200 billion investment. OpenAI and Oracle, Larry Ellison, announced $500 billion investment, which they wouldn't have done if Kamala had won. Apple announced $500 billion investment. Tim Cook called me. He said, I cannot spend it fast enough. It's going to be much higher than that, I believe. They'll be building their plants here instead of in China. And just yesterday, Taiwan Semiconductor, the biggest in the world, most powerful in the world, has a tremendous amount, 97% of the market, announced a $165 billion investment to build the most powerful chips on earth right here in the USA. And we're not giving them any money. Your CHIPS Act is a horrible, horrible thing. We give hundreds of billions of dollars, and it doesn't mean a thing. They take our money and they don't spend it. All that meant to them, we're giving them no money. All that was important to them was they didn't want to pay the tariffs, so they came and they're building, and many other companies are coming. We don't have to give them money. We just want to protect our businesses and our people, and they will come because they won't have to pay tariffs if they build in America. So it's very amazing.
Okay, I'm going to debunk this right now, right here. And there's a computer content creator that I follow. His name is Jay's 2 Cents. Now, from what I remember, according to him, is that there are countries around the world that have a ability and have refined a craft to make chips in their country, right? We don't have that type of ability. We don't. Just like Chrysler is the lamest company in the entire auto industry in the United States. If you were to get Taiwan to build a chip plant in here and hire U.S. workers, the United States workers do not have any intelligence or skill to make these chipsets in a quality manner that Taiwan does. Taiwan is like the king or queen, depending on your perception, of making these chipsets. So why risk quality of like what is it called, the 4090s? Even Ryzen chipsets, right? Even motherboards. Everything that's in your computer right now was built in freaking Taiwan. It literally is, because they have the skill and the know-how and the refinement to be building these chipsets. US does not have anything even close to that.
You should get rid of the CHIP Act, and whatever's left over, Mr. Speaker, you should use it to reduce debt or any other reason you want to. Our new trade policy will also be great for the American farmer. I love the farmer, who will now be selling into our home market, the USA, because nobody is going to be able to compete with you. Because there's goods that come in from other countries and companies, they're really in a bad position in so many different ways. They're uninspected. They may be very dirty and disgusting, and they come in and they pour in, and they hurt our American farmers. The tariffs will go on agricultural product coming into America, and our farmers, starting on April 2nd, it may be a little bit of an adjustment period. We had that before when I made the deal with China, $50 billion of purchases, and I said, just bear with me, and they did. They did. Probably have to bear with me again, and this will be even better. That was great. The problem with it was that Biden didn't enforce it. He didn't enforce it. $50 billion of purchases, and we were doing great, but Biden did not enforce it, and it hurt our farmers. But our farmers are going to have a field day right now. So to our farmers, have a lot of fun. I love you too. I love you too. It's all going to happen.
Wasn't that how COVID started?
And I have also imposed a 25% tariff on foreign aluminum, copper, lumber, and steel, because if we don't have, as an example, steel and lots of other things, we don't have a military, and frankly we just won't have a country very long. Here today is a proud American steelworker, fantastic person from Decatur, Alabama, Jeff Denard. Has been working at the same steel plant for 27 years at a job that has allowed him to serve as the captain of his local volunteer fire department, raised 7 children with his beautiful wife, Nicole, and over the years provide a loving home for more than 40 foster children. So great, Jeff.
I have to look into this guy, because I have a feeling I know this guy. I've seen him before.
Thank you, Jeff. Stories like Jeff's remind us that tariffs are not just about protecting American jobs. They're about protecting the soul of our country. Tariffs are about making America rich again and making America great again, and it's happening, and it will happen rather quickly. There'll be a little disturbance.
A little?
We're okay with that. It won't be much. No, you're not. Oh. And look where Biden took us. Very low, the lowest we've ever been. Jeff, I want to thank you very much. And I also want to recognize another person who has devoted herself to foster care community. She worked so hard on it. A very loving person, our magnificent First Lady of the United States. Melania's work has yielded incredible results, helping prepare our nation's future leaders as they enter the workforce. Our First Lady is joined by 2 impressive young women, very impressive. Haley Ferguson, who benefited from the First Lady's Fostering the Future initiative and is poised to complete her education and become a teacher. And Elliston Berry, who became a victim of an illicit deepfake image produced by a peer. With Elliston's help, the Senate just passed the Take It Down Act, and this is so important. Thank you very much, John. John Thune, thank you. Stand up, John. Thank you, John.
Fact checked. Fact checked.
Thank you all very much. Thank you. And thank you to John Thune and the Senate. Great job. To criminalize the publication of such images online is a terrible, terrible thing. And once it passes the House, I look forward to signing that bill into law. Thank you. And I'm going to use that bill for myself, too, if you don't mind. Because nobody gets treated worse than I do online. Nobody.
Gee, I wonder
Thank you
why.
very much to the Senate. Thank you. But if we truly care about protecting Americans' children, no step is more crucial than securing America's borders. Over the past 4 years, 21 million people poured into the United States. Many of them were murderers, human traffickers, gang members, and other criminals from the streets of dangerous cities all throughout the world. Because of Joe Biden's insane and very dangerous open border policies, they are now strongly embedded in our country, but we are getting them out and getting them out fast. And I want to thank Tom Homan and Christy. I want to thank you and Paul of Border Patrol. I want to thank you. What a job they've all done.
Unfortunately, they're kind of targeting innocent individuals too.
Law enforcement in general is incredible. We have to take care of our law enforcement. Have to.
A lot of them are not illegal aliens.
Last year,
A lot of them are not. They're getting arrested and deported by mistake.
a brilliant 22-year-old nursing student named Laken Riley, the best in her class, admired by everybody, went out for a jog on the campus of the University of Georgia. That morning, Laken was viciously attacked, assaulted, beaten, brutalized, and horrifically murdered. Laken was stolen from us by a savage illegal alien gang member who was arrested while trespassing across Biden's open southern border and then set loose into the United States under the heartless policies of that failed administration. It was indeed a failed administration. He had then been arrested and released in a Democrat-run sanctuary city, a disaster, before ending the life of this beautiful young angel. With us this evening are Laken's beloved mother, Allison, and her sister, Lauren.
Don't get your hopes up. That's not a military general. That's a
Last year,
park
I told
ranger
Laken's
uniform.
grieving parents that we would ensure their daughter would not have died in vain. That's why the very first bill I signed into law as your 47th president mandates the detention of all dangerous criminal aliens who threaten public safety. It's a very strong, powerful act. It's called the Laken-Riley Act. So Allison and Lauren, America will never, ever forget our beautiful Laken Hope Riley. Thank you very much. Since taking office, my administration has launched the most sweeping border and immigration crackdown in American history, and we quickly achieved the lowest numbers of illegal border crossers ever recorded. Thank you. The media and our friends in the Democrat Party kept saying we needed new legislation, we must have legislation to secure the border. But it turned out that all we really needed was a new president. Thank you. Joe Biden didn't just open our borders, he flew illegal aliens over them to overwhelm our schools, hospitals, and communities throughout the country. Entire towns like Aurora, Colorado, and Springfield, Ohio, buckled under the weight of the migrant occupation and corruption like nobody's ever seen before. Beautiful towns destroyed. Now, just as I promised in my inaugural address, we are achieving the great liberation of America. But there still is much work to be done. Here tonight is a woman I have gotten to know, Alexis Nungari from Houston. Wonderful woman. Last June, Alexis's 12-year-old daughter, her precious Jocelyn, walked to a nearby convenience store. She was kidnapped, tied up, assaulted for 2 hours under a bridge, and horrifically murdered. Arrested and charged with this heinous crime are 2 illegal alien monsters from Venezuela, released into America by the last administration through their ridiculous open border. The death of this beautiful 12-year-old girl and the agony of her mother and family touched our entire nation greatly. Alexis, I promised that we would always remember your daughter, your magnificent daughter, and earlier tonight I signed an order keeping my word to you. One thing I have learned about Jocelyn is that she loved animals so much. She loved nature. Across Galveston Bay, from where Jocelyn lived in Houston, you'll find a magnificent national wildlife refuge, a pristine, peaceful, 34,000-acre sanctuary for all of God's creatures on the edge of the Gulf of America. Alexis, moments ago, I formally renamed that refuge in loving memory of your beautiful daughter, Jocelyn. So, Mr. Vice President, if you would, may I have the order?
Galveston, right? I gotta look into that area, because Galveston is a terrible place to be putting like a sanctuary, right?
Thank you very much. All 3 savages charged with Jocelyn and Lakin's murders were members of the Venezuelan prison gang, the toughest gang, they say, in the world, known as Tren de Aragua. 2 weeks ago, I officially designated this gang, along with MS-13 and the bloodthirsty Mexican drug cartels, as foreign terrorist organizations. They are now officially in the same category as ISIS, and that's not good for them. Countless thousands of these terrorists were welcomed into the U.S. by the Biden administration. But now every last one will be rounded up and forcibly removed from our country, or, if they're too dangerous, put in jails, standing trial in this country, because we don't want them to come back ever. With us this evening is a warrior on the front lines of that battle, Border Patrol Agent Roberto Ortiz. Great guy.
Oh, so he's Border Patrol. I thought he was a ranger. I must have got my uniforms confused.
Roberto and another agent were patrolling by the Rio Grande, near an area known as Cartel Island. Doesn't sound too nice to me. When heavily armed gunmen started shooting at them. Roberto saw that his partner was totally exposed, at great danger, and he leapt into action, returning fire and providing crucial seconds for his fellow agent to seek safety, just barely. I have some of the prints of that event, and it was not good. Agent Ortiz, we salute you for your great courage and for your line of fire that you took and for the bravery that you showed. We honor you, and we will always honor you. Thank you, Roberto, very much. Thank you, Roberto. And I actually got to know him on my many calls to the border. He's a great gentleman. The territory to the immediate south of our border is now dominated entirely by criminal cartels that murder, rape, torture, and exercise total control. They have total control over a whole nation, posing a grave threat to our national security. The cartels are waging war on America, and it's time for America to wage war on the cartels, which we are doing.
Uh-oh.
Five nights ago, Mexican authorities, because of our tariff policies being imposed on them, think of this, handed over to us 29 of the biggest cartel leaders in their country. That has never happened before. They want to make us happy. First time ever. But we need Mexico and Canada to do much more than they've done, and they have to stop the fentanyl and drugs pouring into the USA. They're going to stop it. I have sent Congress a detailed funding request laying out exactly how we will.
I've watched Subordinary Gamers, and he's saying, yeah, anybody who watches Mudahar, yeah, Mudahar just said that the whole, like, drugs in America through his border has, he already proved that it was a lie. So if you want any, like, backing of that information, just go watch Mudahar, Subordinary Gamers.
I can sign it into law, so Mr. Speaker, John Thune.
So this is a complete lie.
I hope you're going to be able to do that, Mr. Speaker. Thank you. Mr. Leader, thank you. Thank you very much. And let's get it to me. I'll sign it so fast, you won't even believe it. And as we reclaim our sovereignty, we must also bring back law and order to our cities and towns. In recent years, our justice system has been turned upside down by radical left lunatics. Many jurisdictions virtually ceased enforcing the law against dangerous repeat offenders while weaponizing law enforcement against political opponents like me. My administration has acted swiftly and decisively to restore fair, equal, and impartial justice under the constitutional rule of law, starting at the FBI and the DOJ. Pam, good luck. Cash, wherever you may be, good luck. Good luck. Pam Bond. Good luck. So important. Going to do a great job. Cash, thank you. Thank you, Cash. They've already started very strong. They're going to do a fantastic job. You're going to be very proud of them. We're also once again giving our police officers the support, protection, and respect they so dearly deserve. They have to get it. They have such a hard, dangerous job, but we're going to make it less dangerous. The problem is the bad guys don't respect the law, but they're starting to respect it, and they soon will respect it. This also includes our great fire departments throughout the country. Our firemen and women are unbelievable people, and we'll never forget them. And besides that, they voted for me in record numbers, so I have no choice.
They did, and you ditched them, you dumbass.
31-year-old New York police officer Jonathan Diller, unbelievably wonderful person.
Was it there? Like there was a disaster zone over there,
Was gunned
and
down
he
at
didn't
a
send
traffic
any
stop
aid over
on
there
Long
for like
Island. I went
what, 2
to
weeks?
his funeral.
Yeah.
His criminal charge with his murder had 21 prior arrests, and they were rough arrests too. He was a real bad one. The thug in the seat next to him had 14 prior arrests and went by the name of Killer. He was Killer. He killed other people, they say, a lot of them. I attended Officer Diller's service, and when I met his wife and one-year-old son, Ryan, it was very inspirational, actually. His widow's name is Stephanie, and she is here tonight. Stephanie, thank you very much, Stephanie. Thank you very much. Stephanie, we're going to make sure that Ryan knows his dad was a true hero, New York's finest, and we're going to get these cold-blooded killers and repeat offenders off our streets, so we're going to do it fast. Got to stop it. They get out with 28 arrests. They push people into subway trains. They hit people over the head, back of the head with baseball bats. We got to get them out of here. I've already signed an executive order requiring a mandatory death penalty for anyone who murders a police officer, and tonight I'm asking Congress to pass that policy into permanent law.
I don't exactly know who to turn to. I know there's like
getting tough on repeat.
I don't know like which YouTuber that I would reference this to be a problem. I would think somebody named okay, there's a YouTuber called Donut Operator. No, not Donut like those car guys. No, there's a guy called Donut Operator. He was a former police officer, so he should know something about this. I gotta look into it.
Repeat offenders while enhancing protections for America's police officers so they can do their jobs without fear of their lives being totally destroyed. They don't want to be killed. We're not going to let them be killed. Joining us in the gallery tonight is a young man who truly loves our police. His name is DJ Daniel. He is 13 years old, and he has always dreamed of becoming a police officer.
Being a police officer, a great an honorable judge, but stop freaking defunding the police departments, man. Like, seriously. Number one, a lot of the police... Here's the thing that I have a problem with the police force. They are so defunded to the point where they are arresting people for no apparent reason. They don't know anything about the legal system. They don't know anything about the laws. They don't... So rather than just like, okay, increasing the police force, why not actually educate the police in law? That's my biggest problem, is teach the police. Secondly, give them adequate give them adequate vehicles. I mean, come on. Saudi Arabia has better vehicles than the US when it comes to like getting criminals off the streets. Even Russia, to a certain extent, has better tactics against like threats against like crazy criminals in the United States. I mean, in their country, Russia. And we got a lot of cops that are just like what, sitting in their like office chairs, eating donuts and getting fat and stuff like that. I mean, I've seen a lot of videos about police officers getting overwhelmed and overpowered by freaking criminals. Yeah, and you have like citizens helping these cops. Like, dude, like, you don't need better. You need to stop defunding the police. Honestly, just completely stop defunding it, and educate them in the laws. But knowing Donald Trump, I don't think he wants to educate people in the law.
But in 2018, DJ was diagnosed with brain cancer. The doctors gave him 5 months at most to live. That was more than 6 years ago.
Oof. That's a problem.
Since that time, DJ and his dad have been on a quest to make his dream come true. And
Because what mental disorder does he have?
As an honorary law enforcement
Because that's one of the qualifications. You have to have good judgment, and you have to have unbiased judgment. Having a mental disorder after brain cancer, if it damages the brain just enough, disqualifies this individual to become a police officer. But if he ends up being a police officer,
of the United States Secret Service.
No. Just no. Wow. You can tell he's got some sort of brain damage. He can't be a cop. He can't.
Thank you, DJ. DJ's doctors believe his cancer likely came from a chemical he was exposed to when he was younger. Since 1975,
oh no!
Of child cancer
oh no! Here it comes.
More than 40.
Oh great! The Lord, now our Lord and Master RFK. Okay.
For our new presidential commission to make America healthy again, chaired by our new Secretary of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
The guy who thinks that immunization shots cause autism, which has been proven multiple times, it's not what causes autism. Is genetic, you dumb fuck.
With the name Kennedy, you would have thought everybody over here would have been cheering. How quickly they forget. Our goal is to get toxins out of our environment, poisons out of our food supply, and keep our children healthy and strong. As an example, not long ago, and you can't even believe these numbers, 1 in 10,000 children had autism, 1 in 10,000, and now it's 1 in 36. There's something wrong, 1 in 36, think of that. So we're going to find out what it is, and there's nobody better than Bobby and all of the people that are working with you. You have the best to figure out what is going on. Okay, Bobby, good luck. It's a very important job. Thank you. Thank you. My administration is also working to protect.
What I recently found about autism, try to find the article and make a video about it if I can find it. But what I understand about people with autism is that people think autism is a mental disability, right? Or not disability, because disabilities are like things that if you have a disability, you can't be able to do functions. A disorder is something that you can still work, but it's like different and it's not like normal. Well, from what I understand is that autism is a disorder that neuroscientists are finding out that it is an evolution to the human brain. So what they're saying is that people with autism are actually smarter than anybody else in the entire world. But it comes at a caveat of being antisocial and some other behavioral problems. But people with autism are smart AF. Okay, they are smart AF. I mean, who was it? Albert Einstein. I think they said that he had some level of autism. They're finding out that he had some level of autism. And this man, Einstein, was the one who created physics? Ain't no shot that this MFer was unintelligent. This guy, Albert Einstein, was crazy smart. And they're finding out, like, these people who are, like, made, like, crazy inventions, like, I don't know, the discovery of electricity, Tesla, when he made his, what is it called? The Tesla coils or something like that. He had autism. They're finding out that people with autism are smarter than people realize. Smarter than people realize. And this is what RFK Jr. doesn't even realize, is that yes, it's genetic, but it's genetic evolution, which is crazy.
Protect our children from toxic ideologies in our schools. A few years ago, January, Little John and her husband discovered that their daughter's school had secretly socially transitioned their 13-year-old little girl. Teachers and administrators conspired to deceive January and her husband while encouraging her daughter to use a new name and pronouns. They, them pronoun, actually, all without telling January, who is here tonight and is now a courageous advocate against this form of child abuse. January, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Stories like this are why, shortly after taking office, I signed an executive order banning public schools from indoctrinating our children with transgender ideology. I also signed an order to cut off all taxpayer funding to any institution that engages in the sexual mutilation of our youth.
That has been proven to not be true. What they're doing right now with trans kids is they're doing social what's it called, social transition. They're not doing physical transition. The only people that actually end up having like physical transition are people who have what's it called, people who are born with two organs. Not nymphomania. That's what is it called? Hermaphroditism. That's it. Hermaphroditism. That's the only way that children are supposedly being mutilated, to my understanding. But even with people with hermaphroditism, they're required to wait later on so that the hormones in the child's body are supposed to settle down, and actually the the child exhibits either the signs of femininity or masculinity. If either one happens, then they remove the antagonistic organ.
And now I want Congress to pass a bill permanently banning and criminalizing sex changes on children and forever ending the lie that any child is trapped in the wrong body. This is a big lie. And our message to every child in America is that you are perfect exactly the way God made you.
Oh, he's so gonna eat those sets of words. Oh, he is... Okay, here's the thing. He doesn't know anything about neuroscience. This man is completely clueless about neuroscience.
Because we're getting wokeness out of our schools and out of our military, and it's already out, and it's out of our society. We don't want it. Wokeness is trouble. Wokeness is bad. It's gone. It's gone. And we feel so much better for it, don't we? Don't we feel better? Our service members won't be activists and ideologues. They will be fighters and warriors. They will fight for our country. And Pete, congratulations. Secretary of Defense, congratulations. And he's not big into the woke movement, I can tell you. I know him well. I am pleased to report that in January, the U.S. Army had its single best recruiting month in 15 years, and that all armed services are having among the best recruiting results ever in the history of our services. What a difference. And you know, it was just a few months ago where the results were exactly the opposite. We couldn't recruit anywhere. We couldn't recruit. Now we're having the best results just about that we've ever had. What a tremendous turnaround. It's really a beautiful thing to see. People love our country again. It's very simple. They love our country, and they love being in our military again. So it's a great thing, and thank you very much. Great job. Thank you. We're joined tonight by a young man, Jason Hartley, who knows the weight of that call of duty. Jason's father, grandfather, and great-grandfather all wore the uniform. Jason tragically lost his dad, who was also a Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputy when he was just a boy, and now he wants to carry on the family legacy of service. Jason is a senior in high school, a six-letter varsity athlete, a really good athlete, they say, a brilliant student with a 4.46, that's good, GPA. And his greatest dream is to attend the U.S. Military Academy at West Point. And Jason, that's a very big deal getting in. That's a hard one to get into. But I'm pleased to inform you that your application has been accepted. You will soon be joining the Corps of Cadets.
Okay, that's nice. I mean, You gotta clap for that one. I'm gonna give it to the kid. I'm as heartless as I may be to a lot of things. I'm just gonna give it to the kid. I think it's honorable that he did that, and it's great that the generals are clapping for him.
Thank you. Jason, you're going to be on the long gray line, Jason. As Commander-in-Chief, my focus is on building the most powerful military of the future. As a first step, I'm asking Congress to fund a state-of-the-art Golden Dome missile defense shield to protect our homeland, all made in the USA. And Ronald Reagan wanted to do it long ago, but the technology just wasn't there, not even close. But now we have the technology. It's incredible, actually. And other places, they have it. Israel has it. Other places have it. And the United States should have it too, right, Tim, right? They should have it too. So I want to thank you. But it's a very, very important. This is a very dangerous world. We should have it. We want to be protected, and we're going to protect our citizens like never before. To boost our defense industrial base, we are also going to resurrect the American shipbuilding industry, including commercial shipbuilding and military shipbuilding. And for that purpose, I am announcing tonight that we will create a new Office of Shipbuilding in the White House and offer special tax incentives to bring this industry home to America where it belongs. We used to make so many ships. We don't make them anymore very much. We're going to make them very fast, very soon. It will have a huge impact. To further enhance our national security, my administration will be reclaiming the Panama Canal, and we've already started doing it.
But you can't reclaim the Panama Canal because you've,
Just today, a large American company.
because that contract is over. There's no need for you to have the Panama Canal.
Around the Panama Canal, and lots of other things having to do with the Panama Canal and a couple of other canals. The Panama
It belongs to
Canal was
Mexico
built
now.
by Americans for
Literally,
Americans,
it
not
belongs
for
to
others,
Mexico.
but others could
What
use
the hell are
it.
you waffling on about?
But it was built at tremendous cost of American blood and treasure. 38,000 workers died building the Panama Canal. They died of malaria. They died of snake bites and mosquitoes. Not a nice place to work. They paid them very highly to go there, knowing there was a 25% chance that they would die. The most expensive project also that was ever built in our country's history, if you bring it up to modern day costs. It was given away by the Carter administration for $1. But that agreement has been violated very severely. We didn't give it to China. We gave it to Panama, and we're taking it back.
You have to go through Mexico to do that. What are you doing?
And we have Marco Rubio in charge. Good luck, Marco. Now, we know who to blame if anything goes wrong. Now, Marco's been amazing, and he's going to do a great job. Think of it, he got 100 votes. You know, he was approved with actually 99, but the 100th was this gentleman, and I feel very certain. So let's assume he got 100 votes. And I'm either very, very happy about that or I'm very concerned about it. But he's already proven. I mean, he's a great gentleman. He's respected by everybody, and we appreciate you voting for Marco. He's going to do a fantastic job. Thank you. Thank you. He's doing a great job. Great job. And I also have a message tonight for the incredible people of Greenland. We strongly support your right to determine your own future. And if you choose, we welcome you into the United States of America. We need Greenland for national security and even international security, and we're working with everybody involved to try and get it. But we need it really for international world security. And
Greenland? Greenland is a freaking block of ice. What are you waffling on about? Why would you? Oh my god. No, ice. No, here's the thing. Iceland is the one with people in it. Greenland has no population in it. What are you talking about, bro?
I think we're going to get it. One way or the other, we're going to get it. We will keep you safe. We will make you rich, and together we will take Greenland to heights like you have never thought possible before.
This guy has lost the plot.
Population,
Bro, Iceland, you dumb
large
fuck.
piece of land, and very, very important for military security. America is once again standing strong against the forces of radical Islamic terrorism. 3.5 years ago, ISIS terrorists killed 13 American service members and countless others in the Abbey Gate bombing during the disastrous and incompetent withdrawal from Afghanistan. Not that they were withdrawing, it was the way they withdrew. Perhaps the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. Tonight I am pleased to announce that we have just apprehended the top terrorist responsible for that atrocity, and he is right now on his way here to face the swift sword of American justice. And I want to thank especially the government of Pakistan for helping arrest this monster. This was a very momentous day for those 13 families who I actually got to know very well, most of them, whose children were murdered, and the many people that were so badly, over 42 people, so badly injured on that fateful day in Afghanistan. What a horrible day. Such incompetence was shown. That when Putin saw what happened, I guess he said, wow, maybe this is my chance. That's how bad it was. Should have never happened. Grossly incompetent people. I spoke to many of the parents and loved ones, and they're all in our hearts tonight. Just spoke to them on the phone. We had a big call. Every one of them called, and everybody was on the line, and they did nothing but cry with happiness. They were very happy, as happy as you can be under those circumstances. Their child, brother, sister, son, daughter was killed for no reason whatsoever. In the Middle East, we're bringing back our hostages from Gaza. In my first term, we achieved one of the most groundbreaking peace agreements in generations, the Abraham Accords.
I have to look into that one. Fact check on that one. What's the time? 144? What, 143?
And now we're going to build on that foundation to create a more peaceful and prosperous future for the entire region. A lot of things are happening in the Middle East. People have been talking about that so much lately with everything going on with Ukraine and Russia. A lot of things are happening in the Middle East. It's a rough neighborhood, actually. I'm also working tirelessly to end the savage conflict in Ukraine. Millions of Ukrainians and Russians have been needlessly killed or wounded in this horrific and brutal conflict with no end in sight. The United States has sent hundreds of billions of dollars to support Ukraine's defense with no security, with no anything.
Wait. Listen to what he just said.
Do you want to keep it going for another 5 years? Yeah, you would say Pocahontas says yes. $2,000 people are being killed every single week. More than that. They're Russian young people. They're Ukrainian young people. They're not Americans. But I want it to stop. Meanwhile, Europe has sadly spent more money buying Russian oil and gas than they have spent on defending Ukraine by far. Think of that. They've spent more buying Russian oil and gas than they have defending. And we've spent perhaps $350
No, they
billion
haven't. Fact check on that one.
candy from a baby.
Are they?
And they've spent.
No, NATO is at war with Russia.
And we
How are they buying oil
I know
from
she's
Russia?
separating us, and they don't. But we're getting along very well with them, and lots of good things are happening. Biden has authorized more money in this fight than Europe has spent by billions and billions of dollars. It's hard to believe that they wouldn't have stopped it and said at some point, come on, let's equalize.
Oh no! Wait! No! They halted the oil, right, from Russia.
Earlier today, I received an important.
That was one of the, I think, the sanction stipulations.
Ukraine is ready to come to the negotiating table as soon as possible to bring lasting peace closer. Nobody wants peace more than the Ukrainians, he said. My team and I stand ready to work under President Trump's strong leadership to get a peace that lasts. We do really value how much America has done to help Ukraine maintain its sovereignty and independence. Regarding the agreement on minerals and security, Ukraine is ready to sign it at any time that is convenient for you. I appreciate that he sent this letter, just got it a little while ago. Simultaneously, we've had serious discussions with Russia and have received strong signals that they are ready for peace. Wouldn't that be beautiful? Wouldn't that be beautiful? Wouldn't that be beautiful? It's time to stop this madness. It's time to halt the killing. It's time to end the senseless war. If you want to end wars, you have to talk to both sides. Nearly 4 years ago, amid rising tensions, a history teacher named Mark Fogel was detained in Russia and sentenced to 14 years in a penal colony. Rough stuff. The previous administration barely lifted a finger to help him. They knew he was innocent, but they had no idea where to begin. But last summer, I promised his 95-year-old mother, Malphine, that we would bring her boy safely back home. After 22 days in office, I did just that, and they are here tonight.
I gotta look into that too. I gotta look into Associated Press for that one.
To Mark and his great mom, we are delighted to have you safe and sound and with us. As fate would have it, Mark Fogel was born in a small rural town in Butler, Pennsylvania. Have you heard of it? Where his mother has lived for the past 78 years. I just happened to go there last July 13th for a rally. That was not pleasant. And that is where I met his beautiful mom right before I walked onto that stage. And I told her I would not forget what she said about her son. And I never did I? Never forgot. Less than 10 minutes later, at that same rally, gunfire rang out, and a sick and deranged assassin unloaded 8 bullets from his sniper's perch into a crowd of many thousands of people.
Which a lot of conspiracy theorists are surrounding. If it was fake, it was staged, blah, blah, blah.
Some were not so lucky. Corey Comparator was a firefighter, a veteran, a Christian, a husband, a devoted father, and above all, a protector. When the sound of gunshots pierced the air, it was a horrible sound. Corey knew instantly what it was and what to do. He threw himself on top of his wife and daughters and shielded them from the bullets with his own body. Corey was hit really hard. You know the story from there. He sacrificed his life to save theirs. Two others, very fine people, were also seriously hit. But thankfully, with the help of two great country doctors, we thought they were gone and they were saved. So those doctors had great talent. We're joined by Corey's wife, Helen, who was his high school sweetheart, and their two beloved daughters, Allison and Kaylee. Thank you.
She hates Trump. Look at the seething. Look at her eyes. The one in the black dress.
To Helen, Allison, and Kaylee.
She looks so more supportive of Trump. But the one in the tan dress, man,
he's cheering you on.
She looks pissed.
He is cheering you on. Corey was taken from us much too soon, but his destiny was to leave us all with a shining example of the selfless devotion of a true American patriot. It was love like Corey's that built our country, and it's love like Corey's that is going to make our country more majestic than ever before. I believe that my life was saved that day in Butler for a very good reason. I was saved by God to make America great again. I believe that. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, never mind. That's just the way she looks.
Thank you. Thank you very much. From the patriots of Lexington and Concord to the heroes of Gettysburg and Normandy, from the warriors who crossed the Delaware to the trailblazers who climbed the Rockies, and from the legends who soared at Kitty Hawk to the astronauts who touched the moon. Americans have always been the people who defied all odds, transcended all dangers, made the most extraordinary sacrifices, and did whatever it took to defend our children, our country, and our freedom. And as we have seen in this chamber tonight, that same strength, faith, love, and spirit is still alive and thriving in the hearts of the American people. Despite the best efforts of those who would try to censor us, silence us, break us, destroy us, Americans are today a proud, free, sovereign, and independent nation.
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna... No, it's... Censorship? Have you asked Mr. Elon Musk about his censorship? Has anybody seen have you all forgotten about the Asmongold Elon Musk situation? Really? You all are gonna forget that, right? Are you all just gonna, like, brush that up under the rug? Is everybody gonna, like, forget about what happened with what? That game Elden Ring? How Elon Musk is not playing that game? He doesn't know anything about the mechanics? And he shut people up? How about the fact that, what is it called? They got rid of Donald Trump. They got rid of Andrew Tate. They got rid of a few other people. And Trump and Elon Musk decided to bring them back. Yeah, the whole bro boy situation, is everybody gonna end up forgetting about that? Do you have any idea how much better Twitter was without those dimwits? I mean, Twitter was bad back then, but the thing, yeah, Twitter was bad, but it got worse when the Bro Boys came back. That's censorship, pretty much, right? That's pretty much censorship, or the mere fact that he was legally obligated to continue with his purchase of Twitter. Is everybody gonna remember that? Oh, it's just a joke. Blah blah blah. Nah, bro. No. Free speech? No censorship? Moderation is fine. But the thing is that we've seen countless times about Elon Musk censoring people. Countless times. And even to this point, they're not... It's true that they're not censoring people. But Twitter is full of narcissistic, crazy-ass bullies. Way worse than people they were in 4chan. Much worse than 4chan people. Much worse. But, you know, it's... that's what you call free speech? That's... You do you, boo-boo. I've slowed down using Twitter. Just because, you know, I know as a person of the trans community, it was... I get sent bots to places with women that have like questionable content, okay, as if like trying to entice me to become a man. It's like, bro, get the frick out of here, bro. I'm not into that. Okay, so free speech, no censorship, I'm not believing that. But with this address, do I think America is going to end up getting better? I've already mentioned a bunch of people on this thing. Okay, 3 people that I know of that would end up debunking some of the things that Donald Trump has said. Jay's 2 cents, Scotty Kilmer, and Donut Operator. Those are the 3 people that I know of that would debunk some of the things that Trump has said. Also, with regards to the whole like credit card thing, of like the rich people, I would say, the one that would probably end up having more insight on that would probably be another channel called Business Basics. That would probably have a better answer and more insight as to that whole citizenship credit card thing. We like literally. So get insight on that. Do your research. I know I'm gonna try to do research on this. It's gonna be a hell of a ride trying to find out this information, but damn, dude. Damn.